Well, hello, folks. I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to come out and take a stand politically, share my thoughts and feelings on the matter, and let y'all make up your own minds. So I'm sure there's a bunch of y'all out there who are curious, and there's probably a bunch of y'all who don't care at all. And for both of those groups, I would invite you to listen all the way through, see if what I offered for your consideration is useful or not. Reject it if it doesn't apply. No hard feelings. I don't take anything personally, and I probably won't know the difference unless you tell me. So, without further ado, I have had many conversations with many different people from different backgrounds and different belief systems, and I have had people very pointedly ask me what I think about very specific issues. And when I have somebody come with that sort of an approach and want to ask very direct, pointed questions, here's how I respond. I say, I don't necessarily feel educated enough on all the various geopolitical issues to take a very strong stand one way or the other. My general approach is to listen to the experts who are more knowledgeable about these matters than me, who have a lot more skin in that particular game. So I listen to the experts, and what I'm listening for is logic and reason and facts and data to support what they're saying. And if they can make a reasoned argument that makes sense, and they can support it with real examples, if the individual can present their side in a logical, reasoned, factual, reality-based way, then they have a pretty good chance of influencing my opinion one way or the other. And when it devolves into personal attacks, emotional language, and name-calling, that's when I stop listening. Because the quote is attributed to, I believe it's Socrates, but the quote is, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. And so the person who's loudest and attacking the other person personally probably doesn't have an argument to make, because if they did, they'd be making it rather than attacking. So having said that, right, I'm listening to the experts, and I'm listening to how they're presenting their case and what is the content of what it is that they say. And then the follow-up to that is, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. No problem was ever solved out of the energy of fear or anger or despair or apathy. In order for us to solve problems, we have to collectively agree that we are going to operate out of the energy of love and joy and hope, and commit that the truth is the highest good. Not pushing a hidden agenda or having preconceived notions or attachment to the outcome. Simply the pursuit of objective truth. And if we can agree on that, then we can solve any problem that there is. Because when we take our emotionality out of the equation and we look at the facts of the matter and a logical analysis of those facts, well, now we're working together and we're not fighting with one another. And so if we can commit that objective truth is the highest good, and that is the gold standard by which we measure our success in any particular endeavor, is the uncovering of the truth and the utilization of that truth in the making of the decisions, using it to inform our actions so that we're moving in a positive direction for as many people as possible, then now we're working together. And this whole left wing, right wing, my personal opinion is left v right, red v blue. It's a false dichotomy that left wing, right wing, they're both attached to the same bird. Politicians are politicians, bureaucrats are bureaucrats, and these individuals have their own best interests at heart, not ours. And all of the narratives that we hear and all of the emotional language, the sensational language that's used, that's all focused on the negative, focused on the division, focused on getting us to fight with each other by breaking us down into smaller and smaller demographic groups based on our differences, right? So that we forget all of our similarities, distracts us from what the real issue is. It isn't one political ideology versus another, because as I said, they're both two sides of the same coin. The issue is the 0.001% of the richest and most powerful in the world, the hyper concentration of resources in the hands of a few, and using their power and wealth to drive narratives that distract and divide the rest of us. That's the issue here, folks. That's really the problem. So I'll say this. I feel that as coaches, as healers, as light workers, as all of the different terms that people use to describe the behavior of helping other people to overcome their past wounds and prepare for their future challenges and navigate those effectively, that it is our responsibility as coaches, as guides to others in this process, to put our own stuff aside and to have the ability to stand in the gap, to bring people together rather than dividing them. I heard it said best, take a stand without taking a side. And so I'm taking a stand for unity and not division, for seeking to find common ground and where we're alike, rather than focusing on where we're different or where we disagree. Because at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, and I have worked with folks from many countries around the world, all sorts of different cultural, religious, economic backgrounds, you name it. Work with all different types of folks at all levels of income and success. And across the board, what I'll tell you is this. We all have the same fears. We all have the same doubts. We all have the same insecurities. We all have the same limiting beliefs. We all run the same patterns in our brains. It doesn't matter what level you're at. We've all got our stuff. And it's pretty much the same stuff. And we run the same patterns. We are so much more alike than we are different. And we do ourselves and the world a disservice when we waste our energy on frivolous pursuits like arguing with each other about politics and things that at the end of the day we really don't have that much influence over. It's not helpful, it's not useful, it's not resourceful, so I choose to spend the least amount of time in that space as I possibly can. And I would encourage y'all to do the same, especially my coach, light worker, healer, spiritual guide brothers and sisters out there who are doing the work of healing the planet and bringing people together. And so it hasn't always been the easiest thing to set aside my own personal beliefs and do the thing, but I'm very consciously aware that political beliefs can get in the way of doing effective good work because it can influence the other person's opinion. And so I find that it's far more productive to focus on finding the common ground and the things that we can agree on. And even when I am certain that we disagree ideologically, when we strip away the ideology and we focus on what we can agree on, we can all get along and we can all have fun. We can have a good time, right? As long as we stay away from those hot button divisive issues and focus on the principles, the underlying principles that we all care about. At the end of the day, we all just want to live our lives and be left alone to do it. You know, there are going to be some miserable people out there that are so unhappy they just like I'm convinced that there are people on this planet whose purpose in life, whose sole purpose for existing is to make other people as miserable as they are. That for whatever reason, they're just unhappy inside and they just want to pull as many people into that space with them as they possibly can. Misery loves company, as they say. I just choose not to participate in that. And I would invite y'all to join me in that pursuit, stand in the gap, bring people together, take a stand without taking a side. Much love, y'all. Peace.